chance saved by BCB.
Incredible job by the Sooners. So much chaos in front of the net there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Arctic Edge Ice Arena, the site between your Oklahoma Sooners and the Missouri State Ice Bears. Sooners belted off an impressive 8-game win streak before eventually dropping that third and final game of the McKendree series 3-1. This improves their overall record to 9-3-1, where they sit atop of the WCHL standings. Nate Monticelli continues to stay hot for the Sooners, as well as rookie Mike Amala. Sooners were net-minding, with the exception of Saturday's game and the Bedlam series, has been exceptional to start the season. Brendan Forden boasting a 5-0 record. Meanwhile, Grayson Payne 5-1, combined around a 2.5 goal allowed average and a 9.3 save percentage. Between the starting tandem, they've only allowed 16 goals through 10 games combined. The story of last weekend, aside from taking the series, was that the beat goes on for the injury bug, this time claiming sophomore defenseman Logan Motts. They continue to be supported by a large cast of rookies who are doing a fantastic job filling the roles. And I'll let Elijah Lena take it away for the Missouri State side of things.
Yeah, Christian, thank you. Missouri State sits at 6-2 in the WCHL. That's fourth place, just behind the UNLV Rebels. Their offense is heavily influenced by their top line, led by forward Duke Bacardi, who has 17 points on the season in just 8 games, and averages over a little bit of 2 points a game. The Ice Bears frequently rotate a goalie trio, and they hold a 2.56 goals against average and a 9.20 save percentage. The Ice Bears are not quick to start their games, only scoring the first 3 times throughout 9 games this season.
Yeah, the Sooners on the other side of things, 7 goals scored first through their 13 games they've played so far this season. They're number one in a different category that we're not used to them being number one in, and that's also special teams. The Sooner power play leads the WCHL at 28.9%, and their PK sitting at 85%. Both of those statistics put them at the top of the WCHL standings. On the other side of things, most State 6-6 on the power play with 24%, and tied for third on the penalty kill, sitting at around 83%. We got an exciting game ahead of us. We'll be right back for Puck Drop. Welcome back, Sooner hockey fans. Puck Drop is upon us on this special Halloween night. We have for you guys in store a great broadcast, a great game. The Sooners look to continue their campaign through the top of the WCHL.
Yeah, and leading that campaign has been the goalie tandem for the Sooners. Brendan Forden and Grayson Payne have been electric with a combined save percentage of almost 9.5. So impressive from the Sooner goalies. Look to see them take a step up here.
Yeah, and this Missouri State Ice Bear team is really top-heavy on that top line. They have an incredible amount of offensive prowess between Duke Bacardi, Hunter Bolger, and Justin Rapp, boasting 50 of their team's points. Meanwhile, everybody else sits in single digits down beneath. Goaltender tonight for the Ice Bears is going to be Artur Gizav.
I think it's
Help me out with that, Elijah.
Zilvian?
We'll go with that for now as Puck Drop is underway. Bells takes that opening face-off. Trying to put it into the offensive zone for the Sooners. Dump in by the Edmond native. Missouri State icing gets waved off there. Brennan Forden to play it. Undefeated so far to start his campaign. A couple of drop passes sets up here for Missouri State. Or eventually OU is able to collect it. Josh McDonald there for the Sooners. Played in. Justin Rapp goes down, centers it out for Bacardi, and shot. Blocker saved by Forden. Back to the point. Bacardi again out in the net front. Nearly potted home that rebound. Carson Glass in alone, having to dump it and get off for a change. So if the Sooners can hold this top line pointless in this series, or at least minimize the damage that they have the chance to impose, it's a lot tougher of a battle for the Ice Bears as they rip a shot. Good save by Forden. Lots of attacking pressure early by the Ice Bears. Puck dumped in. Brazilian lets that go by for icing.
Yeah, we've already seen a couple shots from Missouri State through some screens, so already doing a good job at trying to find some tough angle shots there to throw Forden off, but we remain scoreless here.
Henry Vest to take this face off against Carson Spear. Play back to Josh Herman does. Herman rips one from the blue line. Hit a couple bodies. Believe Swearingen had the last say on that before it went out of play.
Yeah, and some good zone time here for the Missouri State Ice Bears. Way to come out with a rush so far. So far, kind of have the Sooners penned in their own zone. We'll look for a clear here if you're the Sooners, but for Missouri, just keep doing what you're doing.
If there are any Ice Bear fans watching this stream on this wonderful evening we have right now that would like to give a proper pronunciation on number 50, Artur, in net for you folks, that would be much appreciated. Spear works it out of the zone. Springs forward Charlie Blake, who's leading the Sooners on the backhand. Rebound, Spear scores! Carson Spear collects the rebound and pots it off his backhand. Sooners getting that all-important first goal.
Yeah, and Charlie Blake there just kind of spearheading the Sooners offense, gets the rush through the neutral zone, gets the shot on, and Carson Spear just there to capitalize on that rebound, put the Sooners up early in this first period.
Yeah, that work done by Charlie Blake, who will pick up an assist on that. Corpulent, fat, grotesque rebound waiting for Spear. Or excuse me. Yeah, Spear, sorry. But no problem putting that home. Heads up just for a second there. Hand pass. Missouri State had to touch up. Could see that puck trying to come towards us. That's what caused the delay there. Ivan Gutierrez is looking to play it back for Tristan Glass, the leading scorer for the Sooners. Or second, excuse me, leading scorer for the Sooners. Caden Martin goes in, lays a little lumber in the corner. Puck held in by Tristan Glass. Worked around the half wall before it's eventually taken away. Cameron Reel on that as good check laid on by OU. Jake Dapper and the victim on that. Tristan Glass looking to work free. He's got plenty of space. One of the best zone entry rostered members that OU has so far this season and has been for his entire career. Missouri State had to touch up there to avoid the offsides. Good neutral zone pick by Alex Kagan. Kagan looking to work Davison in, who just lost everything on his balance there and couldn't even get a shot off. The other way goes Missouri State in behind. Forden, Max Greco. Flip down for an icing.
Yeah, Tristan, and you mentioned Tristan Davidson. I just want to touch on how electric he was in that McKendree State 3-game series. He didn't get any goals throughout the series, but man, he was fast through the neutral zone. He was here just now. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets on the board here.
Yeah, he's been one of the best speedsters on this roster for the last couple of years, proving his worth on these zone entries, and then, yeah, he's so good on the breakaway. Wood loses that puck off the face-off win, has to chase it back. Omar Narvaez, chasing after it with Wood. Eventually it's taken away. Hunter Bolger setting up shop. Rapp surveys. Plays it back down low to Duke Bacardi. Centering feed from Bacardi. Miss Bolger. Bacardi again getting set up. We're going to get a stoppage in play here. Net was ajar. And yeah, I mean, we're 4 minutes into this thing just about, and Sooners getting outshot 5-2. Score says otherwise. All it takes is one good chance.
Yeah, and good on Justin Rapp here for this last play here. Staying on the play, staying with the puck for a while there, trying to find good openings. He got the shot through and forced Forden to make the save, and the net just happened to come off there. But good on them here so far.
False start by Duke Bacardi. Face-off man gets interchanged. Justin Rapp steps in to face off against Garen Narvaez. Clean win for Rapp. Shot from the point by Wood. Tipped out and wide. Rapp playing it. It's pestered by 3 Sooners. Swearingen, one of them, trying to get to it first. Now shot from the point. Good blocker save by Forden. Saw it all the way through. Chance there is for Justin Herman. Swearingen into the corner with Rapp, giving him some love. Shot tipped on to Forden. Bacardi was net front. McDonald wants to have a word with him, but a couple of quick succession saves by Brennan Forden. It's nothing we're not used to.
No, not at all. And Missouri State still pampering with the shots, and a lot of them have been through a screen. Good on Forden to keep making saves there, but this team's getting Missouri State's getting pressure on Forden for sure. But we remain 1-0 here at Arctic Edge.
Couple of missed draws there. Henry Vest gets the boot. Mason Kapsick, steps in there in place of him. Puck dumped out. Might have caught a piece of the netting, but the refs let it go. Sooners having to chase Charlie Blake. Activates for Gutierrez. Spear trying to spring it forward on the half wall. Second time's the charm. No, it isn't. Kaspic takes it away. Ice Bears are well offsides and have to touch up. They might put this on the other end. Ice Bears did not want to get out of the zone. They're going to hold it just outside the blue line.
Yeah, no, look there for a second like they're going to come to the closer face-off circle of the two, but just because of where the pass was, I think they want to take it back to the other end of the ice there. But how good is it to have Swearingen back on the ice for the Sooners?
It's really important, especially with the departure of Motts due to injury, and Ryan Carr, who's going to be out for a decent amount of time, expected to return around that UCO series. So having a veteran presence like him step on for the Sooners is huge. Spear working for Brendan Wolf, centers it. Taken away by Mo State. Not kept in by Spear. Missouri State looks to activate. Kobe Weber took a bit of a slash there right around the center ice logo, uncalled. Icing for the Sooners.
Yeah, and just something I've noticed here, so much of this game already has been played in the neutral zone. I've talked about it a little bit here. But if you're Missouri State, something I've been noticing is some of those passes have been creating turnovers. They haven't been getting quite to the right person. And so they're getting the zone time. They're getting in the Sooners zone, but you gotta get some faster rushes, and that comes from cleaner passing.
Jack Wirtz take this face off. He gets booted out, or at least has to do a quick lap. They're going to take out Charlie Blake, put in Carson Spear instead. Couple of troubles on the face-off. No, Blake's going to step back in there. Some deliberation and inconsistency on what we're getting here on these face-offs. Nonetheless, the Sooners win it. Looking to clear, they do. Blake is able to get it out. Mike Amala with it.
With some musical chairs there on the face-off circle.
Something like that. Amala sprung forward. Joey Bacardi pestering him on D, brother of Duke. Nate Payne in behind the net for the Sooners. Drop pass for Josh Bells. Good keep by McDonald on the half wall. Puck dumped in. Bacardi has it. We'll show it during the intermission, but we got some great fans in costumes tonight on this Halloween down in the north end of Arctic.
I was just about to touch on that. We got a whole group of people dressed up as some referee and
Referees,
linemen. Yeah, good to see them getting some support. The third team, if you will. And we got some Stars fans. I'm sure they're just Stars fans, but, they could be going as a Stars fan. You never know.
Yeah, I want to see on Twitter Jake Ottinger, who goes to the Stars games, dressed up in full goalie gear, sits in the stands. Obviously, it is not the Jake Ottinger, but that's something pretty funny that you just don't see every day. And see what we can do to try to get him up to one of these games.
I can only imagine how much effort that would take.
Yeah. Caden Martin and Kagan having a bit of a conversation. Face-off's going to be held at center ice. Failed entry from the Sooners is what fostered this drop. Mo State takes it. Wood plays it over. Trying to get it hemmed into the zone. They do. Good backhand clearance by Griffin Joy. Landon Booth for the Ice Bears. Drop pass. Gavin Henderson trying to pester Tristan Glass just a bit. Joy looking to activate. Kagan has it now. Sooners probably going off for a change. They do. Joy enters. Looking to swing it in zone. It's there for Caden Martin. Narvaez and Martin doing a great job pestering into the corner, being a problem. Sooners. Narvaez's puck evaded everybody. Bacardi and another Ice Bear had a collision right around the blue line trying to get off the ice. Bacardi seems to be okay. That would be a problem if he goes down for Missouri State. Swearingen takes a lick from Justin Rapp. Davison chasing after the puck. He'll be there first. Trying to center it. Bouncing puck. Ice Bears trying to get it out. Rapp still has it. Justin Rapp splits the D. Enters. Working into the corner. Good centering feed, but just a bit out of reach for Thomas Levin. Josh McDonald into the corner. Missouri State centering feed. Levin looking to shoot. It does, but not before it was blocked by Tristan Davison. Rapp centering. Again, Rapp with it. Good eyes by Davison to pick it off. Shot more like a dump before it's eventually batted out by Davison. Good defensive shift for the offensive forward, but they're going to call that icing. So Sooners have to stay out there, at least this line does. It's an interesting icing call there.
Yeah, I think the confusion was that Derek Cagle for the Ice Bears was trying to make an effort to go for it, and refs decided against it. Sooners didn't like it, so we're back on a Sooners zone faceoff. It's just one of those calls where it is what it is. You got to play through it.
Offensive faceoff for Missouri State. One taken away. Cameron Reel plays around the corner. Puck out in front of Ford, and it was being ushered into his pads by Tristan Glass. Check that. Carson Spears just trying to help him out a bit.
Yeah, and just really quickly, Christian, I want to go back to that Sooners last time in the Ice Bears zone. They had a great forecheck there. Two guys down. I can't quite recall who it was, but good on them get an aggressive forecheck here and try and get something going in the offensive zone after that first goal.
Kobe Weber loses the face-off. Sooners trying to respond with a shot. They're being outshot 8-2 so far. They haven't had one since that opening Carson Spear goal. Would like to add some more. Good pass just into the skates of Charlie Blake. He was across the red line. No icing. He also beat it there. Puck from Spear intended for Narvaez, or Gutierrez rather, but hit off the official, and that's why it's down into the Missouri State offensive zone. Cleared away by Spear. A couple Sooners go off for a change. Kagan back on the ice. Puck tipped out of play by Spear. We'll get another stoppage in play. It's been a little choppy so far this opening 10 minutes or so.
I was going to touch on that. There's been a lot of icing calls, stoppages, player rotations in the face-off circle. There's been a lot going on here that kind of quells some momentum. We'll see if we can make a change. We're about halfway through the first period.
Wirtz takes the face-off, works it with Wood, but on the wrong end of things. Turnover here, Carson Glass, centering feed up for Joy. Yeah, we're going to blow that dead. Joy had the opportunity of a lifetime to bury that, and
yeah, I think the
puck
net
was off its netting. Artur Gilevayan kicking that off. I mean, it's one of those things where you just have to deal with it for both teams. It's not ideal to have, your rush opportunities or your centering feeds being negated by that puck coming off, but Gilevayan just trying to push off the netting there.
Yeah, and there was a hit behind the play there on one of the Ice Bears. Trying to get the player for you. Jack Wirtz wanted a call on a hit behind the play, didn't get it. We keep playing on here, even strength. But no, you touched on it. The nets come off all the time here at Arctic Edge. It's a frustration for everybody. But yeah, no, it's unfortunate for the Sooners there.
Another offensive zone face-off for the Ice Bears. They've been working these pretty well. It's one of the better things they've done all season. It's just these defensive face-off wins, which kill offensive momentum for their opposition. Glass into the corner. Wirtz giving him the business before it's eventually taken away by Mo State. Wood gets spun around. Odd man rush here for Missouri State. And on Fortin's shot, scores. No, saved. What a save by Fortin. That was the body language of both parties on that was a bit deceiving.
Yeah, he's kind of nonchalant with it. It made it look like it might have given one up there and stayed calm and made the save. And that's just the type of goalie that Fortin's been this entire season so far.
Yeah, that was Jacob Herman on that rush for Missouri State. A bit of an awkward one. It took a bounce right at the wrong spot for Oklahoma, and they were able to get in clean, and Herman trying to bury it. I thought it squeaked through blocker side on Ford initially, but nonetheless, we are still 1-0 here, just under halfway done in this first period. Charlie Blake breaking out. Puck in behind Gilevayan. Centering feed for Spear, looking for his second. Drop pass missed. It was blocked. Eventually taken away by Missouri State. Thomas Levine clears it. Greco pestering along with another Ice Bear in company. Sooners trying to make things hard for their zone entries. They do. Now Mike Amala in for OU, trying to feed it off to Spear. Bit of a miss on that, but high stick for Amala. He can't touch it. Missouri State does. Joey Bacardi dumps it. Another high stick, this time for Spear, and now it's going to be a problem for OU. So that's worked into their offensive zone. McDonald having to do a great job just pinning his man to the boards, not allowing him to pass it off. Duke Bacardi back out there for Missouri State. Their leading scorer turns it over. Get a stoppage in play and a penalty coming up against Blake Swearingen. Slash is called. Carson Spear is going to be the culprit.
Yeah,
So-
it was a questionable call. I did see a little bit of that out of the corner of my eye there. So I'm not surprised that they called the slashing call, but yeah, no, it's one of those ones that, you might get it, you might not get it.
I think it just more came at an unexpected area of the ice for that penalty to happen. You typically think of slashes on odd man rushes or zone entries, not zone departures. So nonetheless, the Ice Bear power play looks to get set up. Bacardi lays it down low to Rapp. Rapp surveys, holds it around the face-off dot. Drops it back for Bacardi. Puck exits. Tristan Glass will have it shorthanded. He's got a lot of work to do. He just ends up carrying it himself before turning it over, though. Bacardi fires it in. Carson Glass, first one to it. Not able to get it out in his first try. Second one. Ainan Chilevainen.
Good on the Sooners to kill some time here.
Derek Cagle working it for Missouri State. Lays it up to Rapp. Rapp doesn't have space. Good job by Josh Bells cutting off that angle, sticking with him. Hunter Bolger trying to work it down low to Rapp. Can't. Centering feed. Held it in at the line by Cagle before it's eventually taken away by Nate Payne and cleared. Sooners leading the WCHL in penalty killing, and they're looking like it.
Yeah, for sure. They've been a aggressive team on the penalty kill, being quick to clear those pucks, and here's another prime example of that for the Sooners, keeping the Ice Bears shutout so far.
Yeah, no shots so far in this power play for Missouri State. They still lead 10-2 in that department, but good job by the Sooners so far on this PK. Brendan Wolf collides, gets it out. Clearance unable to come to fruition. Shot for the point, takes down Carson Glass. Bolger let that one rip, and then good job there by Glass making sure it didn't catch Ford going full speed. Kaspic in front of the net looking for that rebound before he takes a lick from McDonald.
Yeah, it looked like Kaspic there was trying to set up there for maybe a tip shot or just looking for the rebound like you mentioned there, and McDonald got in there, broke things up quite quickly there.
Kaspic again has it, slap shot blocked by Nate Payne. Center's looking to clear it. Payne does, and that should do it for this Missouri State power play. So the Sooners will go 1 for 1 on the kill. Missouri State boasting an impressive 11 shots early on in this game, and none have broken the seal of Brendan Forden. Aggressive forechecking by the Ice Bears, taken away by Oklahoma, however. Pucked up then, not enough for icing. Joey Bacardi trying to do it himself. Payne showing his teeth there. Cole Stuckey collects for Oklahoma. Ill-advised drop pass, however, to Landon Booth. So he looks to get set up. Wood back to Booth. Arvaya is in there. Gavin Henderson trying to poke it free, does. Nate Payne eventually gets it out to Carson Glass. Sooners needing to get off for a change here.
Yeah, and Landon Booth for the Ice Bears has been all over the ice. His past 2 shifts, he's been really pestering the Sooners defense a lot. Somebody you might want to keep an eye on here if you're an Ice Bear fan or just a fan of the game.
4:45 left in this opening stanza. They're going to put this face-off in the offensive zone for Oklahoma. The puck was into the netting right around the UCO logo at center ice. There's a bit of a discussion happening between the officials.
Yeah, Ice Bears bench, I should say, not happy with that decision so far, but refs are gathering and talking about it.
Yeah, face-off's going to be held outside the blue line, which is more the appropriate placing for it. Sooners take that face-off. Skylar Bockham chasing after it with Wood and company. Wolf laid it down low. Wood doing a great job motoring through this OU core here. Wood takes it, and an awkward collision into the end boards. He's laboring a little bit. That could have been a lot worse. He kind of just blew a tire towards the tail end of that zone rush. I'm surprised he got up after that. Gutierrez lays it low. Centering feed out to Bockham. Good pressure there by Henderson. Held that stick just long enough on Bockham. Davison trying to play it down low, can't. Puck sprung free for Missouri State. Henderson still with it. Henderson trying to lay a shot on a Ford, and good D from the Sooners. No icing. That puck's dumped in. Giavillian just watches it. Lasanti dumps it in for Missouri State. McDonald chasing after it. Bacardi pressuring hard. Good bank. Up to Micah Mala. Wrist one on a Javillian, and that one's out of play. Finally, the Sooners get one on net. It had been about 10 minutes since we had seen an OU shot.
It's been a minute, and as you were saying there, or we were talking about it earlier, kind of those spring shots coming from the neutral zone for the Sooners, how much momentum that's carrying you, and you hope once you're able to get a face-off here, you're trying to get some more time in the opposing team's zone here. So this could be good for the Sooners here to get set up.
Micah Mala had to drop off after that awkward face-off. Kagan didn't want to jump the gun and allow for an odd man rush. He does a good job there. Playing the long game here is Lasanti, passes it up to Bacardi. Bacardi drops it off for Hunter Bolger. Puck exits. Sooners have done a better job suppressing shot opportunities here in the last 5 minutes or so. Rapp gets hammered by Amala. Spear back to Kagan and behind Forden. Stretches it out to Amala, who just saucers it over to Carson Spear. 2-on-2 for OU. Drop pass failed by Spear. The other way, trying to get set up as Mo State, but they can't, as Ivan Gutierrez read it all the way. Wolf stretch pass over to Charlie Blake. Blake kicks it up off his skate. Tight angle shot on Achilevayan. Fought off hard, good kick and keep by Brendan Wolf. Cagle able to force it out of the zone. And Cade Martin, who got off to a hot start, at least in that OSU series. It's been a little quieter since for the rookies, the Kentucky transfer. Brother of Declan.
Yeah, you mentioned him kind of quieting out here. He was electric in that OSU series. Somebody else, however, though, for the who's been on the team here for a while, Griffin Joy, has really stepped up his game here in the past 5 games. Somebody that we haven't mentioned too much before prior to this, and had a good first goal in the McKendree series.
Shot off the side of the netting. A bit deceiving from this angle. Thought it beat Forden glove side. It didn't. And now Joy will take it away for Oklahoma. Looking to spring forward Martin. Caden Martin works in. Shot. Going to get a stoppage in play for an offsides, but a late one at that. No, we're going to get a hold. So Griffin Joy's going to get a holding penalty, even though he broke into the zone.
Yeah, and I'm just as confused as you are on that.
What?
Yeah, and Griffin Joy is gesturing to the broadcast booth there. He's just as confused. So the Ice Bears will get their second power play here. Sooners look to go on the penalty kill once again here and scave off whatever the Ice Bears have in store here for the next minute and 8 seconds.
Yeah, barring a goal, this will carry over into the second. Bacardi working down low. Rapp. Bacardi, shot played down low. Centering feed, and a great blocker save by Forden. Read that all the way. Gonna stoppage and play net off. Yeah, we have the blessing of this bird's eye view almost onto the ice, where we pretty much see all and everything that is truthful versus that first-person POV that the refs have, which is definitely a lot harder with a lot of tall bodies on the ice. Missouri State is a pretty big team in size. Is Justin Rapp, who, if I had to estimate, standing probably about 6'5" in skates, takes that face off. Puck out of the zone. Hunter Bolger, a little frustrated there. Dumped in, chased after Kagan, first man to it, try to beat the angle, get it out of the zone. He does. Cagle's going to have to collect. Working for Rapp. Swearingen on him. Back to Bacardi. Glove save by Forden. Read it like a book.
Yeah, and Forden's been electric so far in this first period. He's come up with some big saves that haven't really required much in regards to flashiness. He's just kind of been there at the right moment, right time, made the save, done his job, and props to him. He's had a great first period so far.
Duke Bacardi again on this draw. That top unit still out there on this power play. Cagle lays it down low right into the stick of Brendan Wolf, who just dumps it down. Frustrations amounting from the bench. Tristan Glass lost a blade there for a second, or lost an edge. And Brendan Wolf was hooked up and held at the blue line trying to get to the puck. That's what's going to set up this Mo State opportunity, is that shot goes as time expires. So some interesting Halloween game. You can always expect weird things to happen on Halloween. This is kind of one of them. It's one of those where you look at the shot counter and they're in favor of Mo State 12-3, but the Sooners boasting the 1-0 lead. So we have a lot to talk about during this intermission report. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, Sooner hockey fans. It was an exciting period, an odd one, but nonetheless, the Sooners come out with that 1-0 score with only 4 shots. You want to talk about efficiency, and it stemmed from that rush led by Charlie Blake, rookie, who shot off Chilevayan, and then eventually Carson Spear buried it on his backhand. And then the other things, Brendan Forden's had an exceptional night so far.
Yeah, absolutely he has. He's had, we talked about it a little bit there in the first period, but nonchalant saves. He's been the king of them today so far. He got 2 blocker saves that were great looks on net, and he just turned them aside like it was nothing, got that glove save as well. So he's been all over it in this game, keeping the Ice Bears shut out. And then you touched on that Carson Spear goal. Yeah, just a good overall effort from Charlie Blake there to penetrate the Ice Bears zone there, get the shot on, allow for a clean rebound, and Spear just there to clean up the rest of the work there.
Yeah, and so the story to end that period was the penalty that was called on Griffin Joy for holding again. And then eventually, time bled down. The Ice Bear power play looking a lot better on this time around versus the last one that they had, where they didn't really, I think, at all put up a shot, if any. This time they peppered Forden a little bit harder. And so they'll have about 53 seconds of power play time to start this middle frame. We'll be right back. But first, we would like to welcome the OU Hockey's newest corporate sponsor, Appliance for Less. Family and veteran-owned for all your appliance needs. Go by 2 of their 5 locations, Northwest OKC and Norman. 8105 Expressway Northwest Expressway Street, OKC, 73162, and 1302 North Interstate Drive, Oklahoma, 73072. Free delivery and 10% off store-wide this weekend, only for all hockey fans. Welcome back, Sooner hockey fans. Started this second period upon us, as touched on earlier in that intermission report all of 2 minutes ago. Sooners still on the penalty kill here. They're perfect tonight so far. Justin Rapp takes this face off for Missouri State, back to Derek Cagle. Cagle holds up. Ice Bears are on. Puck worked out, freed, and played on a Chilevayan. Rapp enters by himself. Rapp, a little hip check there from McDonald, and then another one by Josh Bells. Works in behind Forden. Bolger over to Rapp. Rapp's feed to Cagle. Exited the zone. Chilevayan plays it over to Rapp. Offsides by Missouri State. That's skate of Henry Vest. Sorry, that skate of Henry Vest did not stay on that blue line. That's why the offsides was called there.
No worries. Yeah, and just overheard from the Ice Bears bench there. gotta hurry. There's a sense of urgency here to get on the board for the Ice Bears. You're only down by 1, but that can quickly change. And if you're the Ice Bears, just getting on the board is going to springstart so much more momentum for them. So urgency nonetheless for the Ice Bears.
Yeah, Griffin Joy steps out of the box. Sooners perfect on the kill. Spear flips it in. Wood, who had that awkward collision right there where he meets Spear earlier in the game. Appeared to be okay when it happened and then continues to stay in the game, so good on him.
Yeah, he had come off the ice and looked to be in some discomfort, but once he sat down on the bench there, he seemed to be doing just fine. Nobody from the Ice Bear staff came up to him, and he's back out on the ice, so take it one shift at a time.
Spear working it forward to Kagan. Kagan rims it around the boards. It takes a ride. Charlie Blake working it down low. Blake flipping it forward. Still with it now, Charlie Blake. Setting up. Shot on Achilevayan. Perhaps caught him a bit off guard, but that rebound was controlled. Into the corner now, centering feed. Cole Stuckey keeps it at the line, plays it in on net. Caught a couple bodies on the way. Sooners looking to break out. Blake plays it up to Spear. Josh Herman lost his stick in the process. Herman surveys, circles, plays it out. Sam Frederick dumps it in. Shot scores! Oh my goodness, what a goal for Kobe Weber. Caught everybody off guard. I was distracted by something else and then ping.
Yeah, Kobe Weber there got good breakaway into the Sooners zone, and that shot just went up and over top shelf of Brendan Ford in there. Dinged both ends of the post, and that's just a well-placed shot. There's not much more you can do about that.
That'll knot things up here early in the second period. Sooners still looking to have some troubles after that first goal that they scored, getting set up offensively. Puck dumped in, Kagan drops it back. Wolf will play it. It's going to land on Chilevayan, so no icing. Puck exits, Sooners have to touch. Chilevayan plays it behind his net. Skylar Bockham trying to make his night difficult. Puck turned over, Bockham lays it over to Wolf. It's intercepted by an Ice Bear. Kagan trying to negate his zone entry, does a good job of it. Sam Frederick, captain, working it. Puck dumped in, Forden trying to play it around the boards. Centering feed out in front by Henderson, nearly worked out perfectly for Missouri State. Kagan meets it in the neutral zone, dumps it in. Cagle trying to play it around. Max Greco having a tough time with it. Now Caden Martin trying to get his hand in there and put a shot on Chilevayan. Cagle holds up, steps back. Bacardi plays it over to Henderson. Henderson, he's got 3 wide. Henderson wrists one wide of Forden. Bacardi works it down low. Landon Booth trying to play the forecheck heavy. Puck held in at the line by Henderson. Dump back in. Puck not cleared by OU. Forden has to paddle that into the corner. Bacardi. Drop pass Henderson. Shoots it. Good save by Forden. Bacardi again with Booth. Glass trying to just get this out. Has plenty of time to work with. That's what the frustrations and exclamations were coming from the Missouri State bench. Caden Martin can't get it out for Oklahoma. Has to play it off the boards. Josh McDonald drops it to Tristan Glass. Great pass for Caden Martin. Just missed on the angle there, though.
Yeah, there's been so many pass attempts rather that have almost sprung the door open for a really great opportunity on net, but for one reason or another just hasn't been a player there to capitalize. The Sooners had one through the slot here. Missouri going the other way as well, and yeah, a couple missed opportunities.
Sooners are going to be called for too many men on the ice. So another Ice Bear power play. So they've elected for Cade Martin to take the penalty minutes on this one.
Yeah, it looked like a line change might have got caught up with the puck crossing through the area, which is what called it, or got the call rather. It's unfortunately timed. It's an unfortunate blow for the Sooners. Missouri State finds themselves on another power play here. We'll see if they can finally capitalize on one.
Yeah, and with momentum swinging their way, this is what they're looking for. Lots of mistakes from OU. I honestly have to be pretty grateful this game's even so far with the shot counter and the power play opportunities for Missouri State. But they might have something to say about it. Bacardi works it down low. Rapp trying to get in there. Bacardi dangles around the goal line. Eventually gets it to Rapp. Rapp deliberates. Centering feed. Now down low. Bolger shot off the post. Bolger again drops it off. Duke Bacardi surveys. Works it down low. Centering feed out to Cagle. Will exit, stay in the zone. So another offensive faceoff for Missouri State as they got set up nicely on that.
Yeah, Hunter Bolger with just a gem of a feed there from the slot over to the side of the crease, and he had completely clear shot. No defenders in front of him there, and just caught iron. So unlucky for Hunter Bolger, but they remain in the offensive zone here. So we'll see what happens.
Words to take this faceoff out there with Weber, the most recent goal scorer in this game. Shot from a tight angle. Forden fought it off. Laid that rebound to rest. Now, the other Bacardi will rip one, and it was blocked. Joey on that attempt. Sooners are doing a great job of blocking shots. The damage could definitely be a lot worse on that shot counter than it is right now.
For sure. They've done a great job at covering those shooting lanes there. Part of the reason why I feel the score isn't drastically different is just how well of a job they've done at blocking shots, covering shot opportunities. It's been a defensive masterclass here so far.
Centering feed out for Forden, and he eats it up for breakfast. What a save there, and what an opportunity for Jack Dapron.
Yeah, Forden had that read all the way. He saw the pass coming into the crease there, was able to get down the butterfly, make the save. Good on Forden, good awareness here. And the Ice Bears almost getting another opportunity.
Bacardi back out there with that top unit. Wins the faceoff cleanly to Cagle. Cagle works it around the half wall to Bacardi, sets up on the faceoff dot. Bacardi swing pass over to Hunter Bolger. Henry Vest plays it back to Cagle. Back to Vest, sets up Bacardi, wrist one on net, and a great chance for Rapp. Just missed Forden on the net.
Yeah, Rapp had the tip and everything. It was just a little wide of the net there. Really good look from him. He's been all over the crease.
Josh Bell's working his minutes here. Bacardi down low, touch pass. Didn't get enough on it, did Justin Rapp. Hunter Bolger takes a tap. Forden played it off the shot down the ice. Penalty time winding down for the Sooners from that too many men infraction. Rapp, swing pass over to Bacardi. Cagle enters. Penalty time expiring. Shot on a Forden, and he swallows it up. Cross crease goaltending, making sure he's got all the angles down.
And he has so far. That save just before this one was really impressive. Had two guys in front of him on the screen. I think it hit a body in front, and Forden was able to get a shoulder up there and make the save. Really impressive performance so far from Brendan Forden on this power play. Penalty kill, rather, I should say.
Missouri State still working the offensive zone after that face-off win. Eventually it's worked out. Charlie Blake, a couple of dirty dangles into the zone for OU. Mike Amala has space, has time. Trying to work it to Spear. Turns it over. And sprung free is Missouri State. Cameron Reel circled in behind Forden, was lurking. It's taken away by OU. Miscommunication there. Eventually it's brought forward to Mike Amala. Drops it off for Blake. Blake elected to risk that into traffic. Had Gutierrez as an option, cross ice, but nonetheless, Sooners still having their best O-zone time of this period so far, and honestly in the last 10 or 15 minutes of game time.
This has been the real first time that Sooners have broken into the Ice Bears zone here. They've been given space based off that miscommunication there from the Ice Bears in their own zone. Sooners so far capitalizing on it as that shot.
Spear firing off the rebound from Gutierrez. That didn't catch the knee of an Ice Bear. It might have found Twine. Spear still has it. This is the best line for the Sooners in this game. They've got the goal. Looking to get the lead taking one. Micah Mala gets turned around. It's taken away. Herman turns it over. Blake still with it. Long shift for him in this line. Spear in space. Over to Amala. Dump down low. Sooners need to go off for a change. They got to hurry up while they do so. Ice Bears also a bit winded, so they did not try to attack that change. Now Tristan Davison works in. Fans on the shot. Garen Narvaez and Brendan Wolf come together to keep it in.
Yeah, Davidson there with a ton of speed. He just overskated the shot there. Sooners remain set up here.
Yeah, Wolf working it at the line, looking for a tip. Bockham nearly found the back of the net on Chilevayan, who was sent flying. Davison, wrist one, knocked down by Henderson. Davison still with it, wrist one, and it just shot over the top of the net. Might have caught a deflection. Davison once more, drop pass over to Gutierrez. Gutierrez, center feet shot off the post from Davison on the one-timer.
Yeah, Davidson's been all after this. 3 shot opportunities in the past 20 seconds or so. None of them able to find the back of the net. Sheila Vinen doing a good job. He's seeing the puck. You can tell just off the way he's moving. He's got eyes on every single one of these pucks. He's done a great job at preventing anything from really getting past him so far. But that's frustration if you're Tristan Davidson. He looked a little frustrated going off to the bench here.
Frustration for Davison, but optimism for OU, as that was the best sequence of O-zone attacking they've had, honestly, in this game. That goal came off the rush. Stuckey takes a body from Henderson. Glass lost his footing for a second, but still remains with it. Center feet out to Joy. Puck knocked off again. Wood and Martin going at it.
That shot was so fast, I have no idea if it crossed the goal line before the net came off there.
Well, I think what Kagan's case is that Chilevainen wasn't the one that pushed it off the net. It was the defender for the Ice Bear, at least what it looked like. Yeah, that's what he's saying to the OU bench. They're saying it's a goal. There's going to be a discussion. If it is, it's Joy's. Kagan pretty certain of it. They're going to say no goal.
Well, that's a turn of events. It was honestly such a fast shot. It was hard to tell there. I missed the defender that you were talking about there. But without replay, unfortunately, there's just no way to tell.
Tristan Glass working off the faceoff. Quick turnaround shot sent Chilevainen sprawling. No icing here. That puck slowed up. But it's worked free for Oklahoma. Griffin Joy got turned around on that. Kagan catching a tap. Kagan risks a shot off the stick of Wood and out of play.
Sooners starting
to get chippy.
Yeah,
starting to get chippy in
they're
here.
frustrated. You could tell. I mean, that's a tough break, and just the net popping off. I think that's like the 4th one we've had so far in this game, and we're just talking about what that does to momentum. First period, we had so many stoppages. That squanders momentum, and then to have a goal get called back like that, or not called at all, rather, does further to kind of limit that. On the flip side, though, Sooners have been in the Ice Bears zone here for a long time, so see if they can keep pressure.
Puck off the glass into the zone. They're going to say he took a deflection. Weber got it there. Sooners will exit, so it becomes a moot point on that icing. Missouri State looking to get set up. Anthony Lasanti dumps it in. Weber and Vest pressuring on Gutierrez. Gutierrez able to poke it free on his backhand. Good job there by the rookie. 4th line out there for the Sooners. Josh Bells ties down a man in the corner in the end. Sooners are going to come away with the puck. Nice quick feed down low. Josh Bells is still down on the ice. Actually, Missouri State comes away with it. That was a long chance. There's Weber, tries it again, backhand rebound from Vest. Fought off by Forden. Now Cagle. Couple of dangles. Cagle's shot. Fought off by Forden. And Joey Bacardi lays one into Carson Glass. That crippled him for a moment.
Yeah, and Cagle had a huge opportunity there to put a goal away. Had so much open ice to skate through there, and Forden coming up with the answer yet again.
Top line back out there for Oklahoma. It's going to be an icing. Referee trying to hold the most state players on the ice. Did not realize it was an OU icing, not a Missouri State icing. So was chirping at the wrong bench.
Yeah, he's a character.
That's an understatement. 8:10 left in this middle stanza. Shots in favor of the Ice Bears, 19-6. However, the score remains knotted up at 1 apiece. And with this goaltending tandem, no matter the offense that the Sooners face, you're going to see that usually stay below 3 here in Arctic Edge. It's just a matter of what the OU offense can do.
Yeah, and it's been, in regards to the standings, it's been huge for the Sooners to have goalies. That puck goes out there. To have goalies that can keep the score low, because we talk about how goal differential really matters in those standings and in those rankings. And to have goalies that can keep games close, keep games within a reasonable score, it only helps your standings, only helps where you stand compared to everybody else in the league.
Well, and you can only imagine what this offense would look like had Aaron Best not had his collarbone decimated earlier this season. They'll be welcoming his arrival in the second half of the season warmly. This offense still has talent, but it's a lot harder to do it without your captain, one of your best players on the ice. Spear. Nobody wanted the puck there in the neutral zone. Eventually it's taken away by Hunter Bolger. Bolger lays in a shot off the mask of Forden, stays with it. Bolger trying to center it to Bacardi, couldn't. Now lays it back for Derek Cagle. Cagle nearly picked off by Amala. Joey Bacardi having a hard time keeping that in, dumping it low. Now Justin Rapp on his backhand trying to get set up, can't. Charlie Blake steps in there, puck out of play.
Yeah, and those shots off the mask as a goaltender can be some of the most jarring shots you can take. They don't hurt because you're wearing a mask, right? They just, the impact, you still feel it, and so it's one of the weirdest feelings. Because you get hit in the head and then
your
like,
teeth rattle a little bit.
Right, yeah. It's like you're fine, but it's just jarring. So good on Forden to keep his composure there. Good on the Sooners defense getting sticks in that slot. Broke up a good pass play. Yeah,
and there have been a lot of centering opportunities that Missouri State's had that's been thwarted by a Sooner stick in front of the way like that. For example, as Garrett Narvaez turns up the other way for Tristan Davison. Davison trying to flick it forward to Narvaez. Gets caught up in the traffic, taken away. Cameron Reel dumps it in. Wood working on Gutierrez. Gutierrez lost his stick. Missouri State looking to get set back up. Jack Wirtz and Reel trying to lead this line for the Ice Bears. Wood blocked by Davison. Davison is going to try to beat him to the puck. Tristan Davison on a breakaway did not realize that there was a Ice Bear on him. He got knocked down pretty hard. It's a clean hit. He just didn't see it. And then he skated into the goalpost there.
I've been going bowling on that side of the ice. That net's been popping off quite frequently. It's a good break, though, for Tristan Glass. Like he's always been all season and every year he's played for the Sooners. Fast through the neutral zone, fast on the breakaway. Good with him to stick with it there. But, man, when it's a one-on-two there, it's hard to get a shot off.
One of the referees was trying to take Jack Dapperin off for a penalty. Didn't realize there was none called. Maybe a bit of confusion. Tristan Glass loses the face-off, taken away by Missouri State. Henderson play it down. This should be icing. And it is. Good to see Davison okay after that. That was still an awkward collision. He lost a lot of momentum when he got hit down, but still careened into the goal, and not the part that you want to hit. But with the amount of give that post has locked into that slot, it's not as stiff, it's not as rigid of a collision. It kind of just moves off with the momentum of the colliding force, which is probably what saved Davison from a little bit of whiplash on that. Clearance attempt failed. Stuckey wrist one from far onto Chilevayan. Puck still in for Oklahoma. Chilevayan plays it to the corner. He's done a great job controlling rebounds in this game. There hasn't been a lot net front for second chance opportunities. The other way turns up. Missouri State trying to work in. Landon Booth doing a lot of work for this line. Kagan in behind Forden. Plays it off his skate, then his stick. That awkward bounce actually favored the breakout for Oklahoma as Charlie Blake will work in. Wrist one, glove hand save by Chilevayan. Booth working in on Gutierrez. Landon Booth in there. Dropped it off in front of Forden. The deposit was not successful. Centering feed picked off by Brendan Wolf. Sprung forward Micah Mala. Puck still in for Oklahoma. Carson Spear drops it off to Amala. Where's the puck? Sooners say it's in the net. Referee blows it off. And then extracurriculars ensue.
It looked like that puck kind of hid behind Chilevayan's pad there. From our vantage point, it's unclear to see if it crossed the goal line or not.
The whistle blew regardless before it eventually seemed like it did, at least from the OU perspective of things.
And it started once again. I touched on it earlier in this game, but kind of sloppy passing in the neutral zone there. Ice Bears kind of left a puck out there for the Sooners to capitalize on. And if you're the Sooners, you're going to want to jump on that every time. And regardless of if this counted or not, there's a potential to exploit going forward here.
Yeah, so Tristan Glass, after a discussion between Coach Arvanitis and the lino, he's pretty fired up, and it's not without a good cause. He does not talk a lot during these games at all. If he's showing some emotion, that usually means he's right. Usually give him the benefit of the doubt on that.
Yeah, and from his perspective, two questionable, could be goals, could not be goals that, just don't go your way there. You're going to be fired up and frustrated about that.
Face-off one taken away by Gutierrez. Tip out in front from Joy. Took too much off that shot as it settled down kindly well in front of the crease of Chilevainen. Kagan gets ran into by Martin. Sooners still with it. Gutierrez and Martin collide. A little bit of friendly fire there. Now breakout pass. Fanned on. Joy dumps it back in. Did so just above the red line, so no icing. Missouri State just able to get it out of the zone. Working it the other way. Mason Kaspic turned it over, and Sooners doing a little bit of better job not letting the Ice Bears get set up. Griffin Joy lays one on at Chilevainen. That was a big rebound, one of his biggest. Bells giving the works to Vest.
Yeah, Bells was still trying to go after him there after the puck had left their area. Ref yelling at them to keep going, though.
Forden's going to play into the corner, and it's going to land into the stick of Vest, not before picked off by Joy, but he didn't have a lot of options on where to play that. That nearly was a catastrophe. A couple of sprawling bodies. Wood keeps it in, but plays it to a Sooner. This one fired all the way down for an icing.
Yeah, it goes back to the famous Steve Dangle quote of if you're a goaltender, tend the goal. You don't want to end up on that on his show there. So Forden just making the best out of a bad situation there.
Yeah, and he's usually really good with the puck. So is Grayson Payne. They do phenomenal work for the Sooners. And yeah, I mean, the Sooners are putting up more shots this period, but I still haven't really been able to find the back of the net off of that odd man rush opportunity, which opened the scoring. Shot on a Forden from Hunter Bolger. Blocker save, put in the corner, wrap. Trying to play it back to Herman. Brendan Wolf lays it gently off the glass, exits the zone. Wood trying to play it for Mo State. Josh McDonald. One way or another, pinballs out of the zone. Ice Bears have to touch up. Carson Glass awaiting two Missouri State players. Couldn't get it out. Eventually McDonald does. Flipped to Spear, who's alone. Carson Glass, odd man rush here for OU. Carson Glass working in, wrist one onto Sheila Vinen, and that rebound was there, but Nate Payne, who was the option, wasn't. Had that been just a little bit farther left, would have been a great chance for Nate Payne.
That might have been the juiciest rebound that Sheila Vine's given up so far in this game. That was prime.
Carson Glass still working, a little bit frustrated after that. Chance, he had a great shooting lane. Puck knocked down, taken away by Spear. Will Blake activates, Charlie Blake on his backhand rebound for Sheila Vinen, and a goal is scored by Charlie Blake. Carson Glass.
Yeah, Charlie Blake once again doing a really good job at springing the rebound, although that wasn't the best rebound we've seen. He did it, and once again, Carson Glass just there to clean up what Charlie Blake has done.
Yeah, and not a known goal scorer, Carson Glass. Definitely more of a two-way player, but just there at the right time. I was shocked that went in with the way Sheila Vinen's been playing. These last shot opportunities for OU, the last 5 or 6, have all produced great rebounds. And that one being the worst of them ends up going in, but that's how hockey works. Doesn't have to make sense. It might never make sense, but that's why we love this sport. Sooners take that 2-1 lead. I was also shocked that Carson Glass was still on the ice because he was on there for quite some time now, centering feed out in front.
Yeah, no, he was out there for a long time. Like, that was a long shift. I was surprised to see him on there, too. I honestly thought Sheila Vine got a glove on that, so I'm surprised there was a rebound. But 2-1 here for the Sooners.
They'll take it, especially with how hard Missouri State's been playing in both periods so far. They've been playing a perfect almost 40 minutes now, even though the score doesn't reflect it. Turnover by the Sooners. Puck worked down low, out in front of Forden, and an awkward collision there between Forden. Carson Spears going to give a two-handed shove to Cameron Reel, who collided, or rather, Jack Wirtz, who collided with Forden. He gets up okay. Those collisions are awkward when goalies get that air time because your legs can get caught in awkward spots when you land. That's more what the concern was, at least initially when I was seeing that. If you get ran into and you stay on your feet, or at least just go back, don't get caught up in the air, usually is okay for goalies. But when you get that hang time, and Sooners making a case for goalie interference on that, I kind of have to agree with it, but it'll remain 5-on-5.
Yeah.
It didn't look like he was shoved in there.
No. It looked like there was a crash of the net, if I'm being honest. I'm a little surprised as well.
Forden has the rights to play that in his crease. He came out in his crease. He stayed in his crease, but he played it just a bit outside. And Ice Bears knocking on the doorstep. Gutierrez sets up Payne. Wrist one tipped by Gutierrez. Nearly beat Sheila Vine at 5-hole. Carson Glass back out there for Oklahoma. Gutierrez works it down low. Glass drops it for Josh Bell's centering feed was tipped by Cameron Reel. Forden will skate the distance to play it over to Alex Kagan. Josh McDonald, long pass, collided with multiple skates, no icing. It also lost a lot of steam on that. The other way, Missouri State trying one of their own. Kagan cuts it off cleanly. Puck banked off the board. That's going to activate Skylar Bockham, who works it with Garrett Narvaez, rips a shot on it. Sheila Vinen played into the corner. Now Vest enters onside. Diving attempt by Davison to work it out of the zone. No luck on that one. Cagle, good stick by Skylar Bockham to deflect that up and out of play.
Yeah, this is a few plays back, though, but that cross-ice pass to Josh McDonald was intended for Josh McDonald. Would have given him a lot of open ice to find a shot there, but Sooners finding some better looks since that second goal. At least I think so.
Oh, absolutely. And, I mean, they've turned it up a notch. It's funny, Willie when Willie's in the booth, he likes to comment on how the Sooners will play a great first 5 and the last 5 during periods. Whatever happens in between that, we don't really know. But, yeah, the Sooners definitely started out a little weaker than they do in periods. Mind you, there was a power play for Missouri State. Time winding down, just 1 second left, and that'll do it for the middle frame. So the Sooners will go into the third with a huge lead, not score-wise, but just momentum-wise. You got to feel like the frustrations for Missouri State's are amounting here.
Yeah, you would think so. I feel like that we talked about like the first 5 second 5 in the middle there. Both teams were playing like they were down 1.
Right. Yeah,
it was odd. It's Halloween, whatever. It's been a weird game, but like you almost have to feel like, well, now Missouri's once again down by 1. Let's see how they respond here when they come out.
Yeah, the Sooners are going to need to play a different type of game. And honestly, I think it's attack fire with fire and keep those chances up offensively like they were doing towards the tail end of that second in order to negate other offensive opportunities for Missouri State. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with the third period, the second period intermission report coming up. But first,
we would like to welcome the OU Hockey's newest corporate sponsor, Appliance for Less, family-owned and veteran-owned. For all your appliance needs, go by 2 of their 5 locations in Northwest OKC and Norman. 8105 Northwest Expressway Street, OKC. 73162 is your zip code there, and 1302 North Interstate Drive in Norman. 73072 is your zip code for that. For free delivery and 10% off store-wide this weekend, only for all hockey fans. We'll
Welcome back, Sooner hockey fans. Second period intermission report. An exciting period. This time 2 goals being scored. We're going in sequential order here by period and goal totals. First one coming off Kobe Weber, just wristing that one, beating Forden at the tail end of, I believe the power play time had expired. So he just caught Forden off in the rush, beat him high and over his shoulder, and that's how Missouri State got on the board. And then the other way, towards the tail end of that period, Carson Glass activating on that rebound, pushing it past Chilevainen, and that's where we sit right now, 2-1 Sooners.
Yeah, and something to note, key detail, both Sooners goals coming off of a 200-foot effort from Charlie Blake there, getting the initial shot, and then somebody else on the Sooners finding the rebound, and this most recent one was Carson Glass. That first one there was Carson Spear, so both Carsons getting on the board for the Sooners. And if you're the Ice Bears, you need to come out with a push here. We kind of talked about that. We're going to probably expect that here. But we mentioned how weird that second period was. Both teams kind of playing as if they were down. But Sooners able to pull some momentum out of it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Christian?
Yeah, it's just the type of – they're going to have to play an offensive-minded game, as much as that sounds counterintuitive, with missing players on that offensive front for them in order to suppress Ice Bear offense themselves. Because when – the Sooners were getting those ozone opportunities, it was negating 5 to 6 minutes or so of potential ozone time for Missouri State. Well, that sounds pretty obvious, but it was a huge part of the game because it was giving Forden a break, it was giving the D a break, and the Sooners were just able to kind of dictate their pace and how they wanted to play. And they didn't necessarily have to force anything offensively, and they weren't, which is something that I think is what's making this game so weird, is they're kind of just dumping it around both ends of the ozone, just playing it around the boards, setting up, maybe taking a shot or two, and really just taking their time getting set up. And I think that's something they're going to have to continue with.
Yeah, absolutely. And in net for the Ice Bears, Chilevainen really kind of picking up on that play style, I would like to say anyways. He's been alert this whole time, even when his team has maybe kind of let him down on the defensive side of things. He's had some big saves, some big answers when they've needed it to keep the Ice Bears in this game. You could make the same argument for the Sooners as well. Brendan Forden, some huge saves coming up in that, or coming previously in the second period, rather. And, I don't know. Goaltending's been a huge factor in this game. I think it's the reason why it's so close.
It is, but it's also the reason why the Sooners have the lead is, when those offensive rushes were taking place, it was kind of letting Chilevainen relax a little bit in his net. And so that's why those rebounds are being created that we hadn't seen in that first period. And that's eventually what led to the Carson Glass goal. So we'll have an exciting third period underway for you guys in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, Sooner hockey fans. Start of this third period. I want to give a shout out to the Frosted Mug Bar and Grill and their patrons that are watching the Sooners take on the Ice Bears today. Shout out to Alan Glass for helping get that set up, and the Glass family doing a lot of work here in Oklahoma on the ice and off.
Yeah, huge thank you to them and all they do to support this team and all the effort that goes into it. We talked about how difficult it is for ACHA players and some of the lack of support they get from universities and whatnot. And so it's a huge thank you to parents and patrons like that for keeping this thing rolling.
Yeah, if you're watching Frosted Mug, if you can hear us, raise your glass, make a toast. Third period is upon us. Center's looking to send the Ice Bears into an early hibernation.
Looking to scare them, if you will, because it's Halloween.
It is. It is Halloween. I keep forgetting that it's Halloween.
I know, it's weird. It's been a weird day. Like, weird game, weird everything. So happy Halloween, everybody.
Referees deciding their spots on the ice here. Eventually, everything gets set, and Duke Bacardi will take this face off. Carson Spear, his opposition. And we are underway in this third period. Ice Bears take the face off. Had a little bit of trouble with it, but nonetheless, Justin Rapp will activate. Not before it's turned over. Mike Amala the other way. One of the leading goal scorers. Been on a hot streak these last few games for the Sooners. Puck turned over. Justin Rapp trying to beat out Swearingen. Got a shot off on a Forden. Swearingen was trying to just tie him up instead of getting the puck out of there.
Yeah, it looked like Swearingen kind of, like you just said, kind of tapped the puck there towards Forden. Forden was ready for it. We got the save. I don't know if that's exactly what they were trying to go for.
It's nearly catastrophe to start the third. Both lines stay out there. Offensive zone faceoff taken by Rapp. Puck squirted out of Forden's crease. And the Ice Bears have to touch up.
Not the word I thought you were going to use there. Anywho.
Joey Bacardi rims it around the boards. Flipped out, Rapp. Play down low, Bolger, Rapp. Going give and go here. Puck out of play, yes. My vernacular comes from the likes of Daryl Razor Ray, one of the best color commentators in the business for the Dallas Stars.
Fair enough. He's a legend. Fair enough.
If you watch the Stars, you'll catch some familiar phrases and words. It's hard to come up with new stuff as a broadcaster. You know, everything that's out there has been out there for almost 100 years from the start of radio broadcasts. So it's hard to get creative.
I know. It's hard to get your original sentence. You know what I mean? It's like you kind of have your phrases, you stick with them. So I totally get you.
Sooners take that face off. Wood dumps it back in. Not before a quick touch up. Bockham plays it to Kagan. Kagan dumps it in. Bounced wide of Sheila Vinen. And away goes Real. Real rips off a shot. Punched out by OU. This one should be icing. They're not going to call it. No, they are going to call it. Late icing call there.
Yeah, Brian Wood was ready to go back the other way with that one for the Ice Bears. But they get the Ozone face-off if you're an Ice Bears fan and see if you can try and generate some momentum off of this.
Cole Stuckey went back to the OU bench. He's kind of ignoring the coach, but I think he's getting checked out for an injury by Anita Clark. That's why he's not out there, but the refs are going to see if he can go back out there, do his duties. He does step over the boards. Reluctantly, he did not want to go back out there at all. I don't know if he was trying to pass it off. It's potentially an injury or really needed to get checked out, but nonetheless, he's back out there and then eventually hops off. Full sail change coming for Oklahoma. Wood going to activate over to Herman. Dumps it in. Forden didn't want to play it. Had a lot of Ice Bears coming at him. Puck off the boards. I say no icing. Wood had a play to make on it, and he didn't. That's why it was waved off. Breakout pass failed. Caden Martin intercepts, trying to center to glass. It's going to end up with Wolf. Bouncing puck taken away by Griffin Joy. Dumped around. Martin has space. Lays it down low. Wood and glass going at it. Wood's been out there for an extensive period of time. Griffin Joy trying to pick a pocket. Long pass, missed. Rapp still with it, though, off the boards, looking to center. Had a prime opportunity to get that to Hunter Bolger. Rapp again. Good stick lift by Caden Martin, not allowing Bolger to get a shot off. Puck played in behind Forden, now into the corner.
Yeah, both squads having a little bit of disconnected passing in their respective zones. Sooners here with a shot. That one gets turned away. But, yeah, it's just been rebounds kind of going to weird angles, passes going to weird angles. It's been a disconnected start to the third period.
Yeah, it almost looks like as if these teams have played 2 or 3 games in a row or played some back-to-backs. This is not usually the pace you see on an opening night as Weber is in on Ford and roofs it for his second. Cody Weber double dips and ties this game up. Beat Ford in the same spot twice.
That was very impressive from Kobe Weber. 2 identical goals, might I add. Same side of the ice, same shot style, goes top shelf on Brendan Forden. He's got some speed. He generates speed very quickly. That's what something I noticed there from Kobe Weber. What a goal. Way to get your team back in this one if you're the Ice Bears.
The Sooners were just kind of sleeping. I don't think they were expecting Weber to take that the distance. And Forden beat twice, same spot. Hat-trick watch for Kobe Weber. That's his 5th goal of the season. Through 9 games now. Good stretch pass. Nate Payne drops it off. Nate Payne still with it. Banks it to himself off the boards. Over to Josh Bells, who rips a shot. Glove save. Carson Glass looking for the tip on Chilevainen.
Yeah, there's a few bodies in net in front of Chilevainen there. And he was looked like Chilevainen was trying to go down, thinking the shot was coming low, but it wasn't. He was kind of surprised by that. Got his glove up, made the save.
Almost an immediate response. Good effort by the 4th line for OU. Bells on the face-off against Cameron Reel. Merrill wins it. It's played back. Joey Bacardi trying to get in there. Eventually it's taken away. Ice Bears dump it in. Jack Dapron. Puck in behind Forden awkwardly. It lays on the netting, and we'll get a stoppage in play.
Yeah, and Jack Dapron trying to draw a penalty there in the neutral zone. Got pinned against the board and tried to sell it as a trip there. Refs weren't biting, however, though. We remain even strength here.
Faceoff's going to be held onto Forden's glove side. 4th line still out there for Oklahoma. Faceoff won by Nate Payne. Swung around Carson Glass. Collides with Joey Bacardi. Dapron plays it down low. Going to work it free. Jack Wirtz. Drop pass to Reel. Puck held up at the half wall in our blind spot. Cole Stuckey with it now. Gets it over to Alex Kagan. Nate Payne able to bank it off for Josh Bells, who will just look to dump it in. Get off for a change. They're going to say no icing. A little bit of controversy on that. Not a problem, though, as the puck exits the zone. Top line out there for Oklahoma.
Yeah, it looks like Jack Dapron had that Sooner beat there going into his own zone. I'm surprised it wasn't called, but Chilevainen makes the save.
I mean, it kind of just dribbled in on him. I'm surprised he didn't stick that to one of his D-men, because now it's an offensive zone faceoff for OU, and they didn't really do much to earn it, but nonetheless, they'll take it.
When life gives you lemons.
We'll see if this top line can make lemonade for Oklahoma. Henderson got enough on it to exit. Puck dumped back in. Herman. Now Wood. Turned over. Mike Amala. Drop pass. Shot! Blocker save by Chilevainen and Charlie Blake. Making the netminder for Missouri State work on that. Puck played back. Gutierrez wrist one right into Werman, who doesn't have a stick. He would have had a breakaway, kind of soccer style, kept it going. Great shift by him. Spear in, has space. Wrist one on net. Chilevainen a save. Amala was the trailer. Spear kicks it to Wood, who chips it forward. Not kept in by Gutierrez. Sooners need to redo things here. Now Foote turns it over. Other way goes Oklahoma. Spear drops it off. Amala on his backhand. Over to Spear. Puck in front. Chilevainen. Chance there for Amala. Bouncing puck. He got enough on it to make it a problem. It looked like near impossible to time that right.
Yeah, that puck was spinning very fast, and the ice has already been chewed up quite a bit here.
Forden, they're going to blow it dead. Forden looked like he got beat 5-hole on that chance from Max Greco. By body language standards, Forden thought that went in, but it must have caught a piece of equipment and stayed out.
It was stuck under his pad. I didn't see it. Like, I saw it stop there under his pad. I think it's hard to, like, with the pads, it can be hard to kind of feel when a puck is under you there. So probably just caught him by surprise, but, you know, fortunately for him, he got the save.
Yeah, great effort there by Max Greco for Missouri State, breaking through the D, and eventually he was getting pestered. His stick was lifted multiple times, found a shot, nearly beat Forden. No lead changes in this game, just Sooner goals followed up by answers from Missouri State. Puck exits there. Justin Rapp banks it to himself. Rapp drops it back. Bacardi fans play back, drop down low. Bacardi again. Garen Narvaez getting pestered by Rapp. Puck jacked, turned over, shot on a Forden glove save. Easy one for him there. There was traffic in front, but he had a lane to see it. Sam Frederick looking to activate.
Hunter Bulger was looking for the tip there. His stick got lifted at the last second as that shot went into the slot, and Forden was able to come up with the save there. But that could have been deadly if that stick wasn't lifted on Hunter Bulger.
Yeah, and so now here's what we were talking about during that intermission report is Sooners having a hard time with offensive zone opportunities, getting set up, and now Missouri State's taking the liberty of doing the same to them. A lot of swings back and forth with that happening. Griffin Joy looking to get something going. Frederick steps into him. Weber plays it off. Vest leaves it. Shot on a Forden. Rebound went into the corner. I thought he sealed it. He didn't. Now Joey Bacardi is trying to center for Weber. His third was right there, just missed his stick. Centering feed held in by Weber. Drops it down low. Puck's going to exit the zone, and a much-needed clearance. Kaspic couldn't get to it.
Yeah, the Ice Bears kind of suffocating the Sooners in their own zone here. The opportunities the Sooners have had to break out of it, the Ice Bears are kind of predicting it. They've done the same zone escape maneuver, for lack of a better term, a few times now with the spring pass up to the Ice Bears zone, and the Ice Bears have been ready for it every single time so far.
Yeah, one team is anticipating a lot better. That's been the story of this third period. Vest going to drop it off. Puck loosely out in front of the crease of Forden. Still behind the net. Wraparound chance fought off by Forden, and Carson Glass is not happy, to say the least.
Yeah, and that puck was almost cleared there. It looked like it was either Bells or Carson Glass that carried it into Forden. I don't know if that was the intention or rather just the nature of the situation, but we'll see here if anybody comes away with a penalty or not.
Doubtful.
Doesn't look like it,
Doubtful.
actually, yeah.
I do like, this is not what we saw in that McKendree series. These physical give-and-go little chips are not being called for roughings, and I like that, obviously. You know, if there's anything nefarious that really does occur in the midst of those scrums, call it. Real wrist one on a Forden who traps it with his blocker and glove. But, yeah, it's, you know, the difference between that series and this series is there's definitely, it's more WCHL feeling to it. Of course, McKendree and the MAC, or the WAC, rather. Ice Bears looking to get set up and behind Forden. Wraparound blockered, or excuse me, pad saved by Forden. He just stuck his skate out at the right time. Nearly a goal for Missouri State.
Yeah, it was Jack Wirtz on the wraparound attempt there. It was a really good look. Forden had him ready, or was expecting it rather. But another good look again for the Ice Bears.
That time chewing down. Nearly halfway done with this third period. Sooners top line doing their heavy lifting. We touched on it in the pregame. That top line for Missouri State carrying their offense. Weber's not on that line. The Sooners have done a good job of fighting that off, but their depth is what's carrying them to this tie game so far.
I was going to touch on that at some point there. But, yeah, no, you raised a good point. The first line's been all but shut out. And I was wondering if somebody else was going to step up here for the Ice Bears, and that's obviously been the case.
Bacardi has it, shoots it, plays it off a man down low. Forden hugged his post tightly enough to keep that one out. Puck is in the skate of Spear. Eventually worked free by Justin Rapp. Waves off Brendan Wolf. Rapp doing laps around the OU defense. Fortunately for them, it's cleared by Davison. I'm going to call that icing.
There has been so many loose pucks in and around the crease of Brendan Forden. He's had eyes on all of it so far. Good on him there. However, if you're the Sooners, you got to get some clears faster here. Ice Bears are only going to take advantage of that. And there's going to be an opportunity where that puck is loose, and if you don't get to it first, it's going to be in your net at some point.
Yeah. Ice Bears now hit the 30-shot marker. And honestly, with the way that first period started, I was expecting it to be a lot higher by this point in the game.
No, for sure. They were littering the net with shots here, and Sooners have all but caught up. They're only down by 10 so far. We'll see if the Ice Bears are able to get some more shots here, if the Sooners are going to get things going in the other direction.
Skylar Bockham looking to do it for Oklahoma. Dumped in. Aaron Narvaez going to make work of Joey Bacardi. Gets a little love tap there. Goes uncalled. Justin Rapp. Top line will go off for a change. Puck in behind Forden. He's got to be careful. Plays it off his backhand. Top line actually stays out there, rather. Good pass, Bockham. Call it the speed line for Oklahoma here. Narvaez enters. Bockham pestering Bacardi. Takes it away. Rapp trying to make work on Josh McDonald. Offsides. Yeah, they're going to call that. It should be down on the other end. I agree with that. Justin Rapp touched that after the clear hand was up, and we're going to get an offensive zone faceoff for Oklahoma. Good deliberation by the officials on that. I don't know why Rapp played that.
I might not have been sure if it was offsides or not. There was a few players around the blue line. You might have thought maybe one of them got a foot over or something like that. But you touched on the speed line. Skylar Bockham has been all over the ice since he joined the Sooner squad, really, but especially in this game. He's been putting in some effort. It's been impressive to watch.
False start on the face-off. Some boos from the crowd. You know, for how quiet the Arctic Edge crowd is, it's rare to hear an odd boo or, you know, cheer out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It kind of catches you off guard a little bit. Stuckey working to work Caden Martin into the zone. Martin gets taken down by his own skate. Glass dumps it in. Playing to the corner. Caden Martin laboring a little bit in some pain. Yeah, he's going to head off. Oh, he's going to stay out. Just kind of work it off. Vest dumps back. Foot dumps in. Looking to get Missouri State set up. Kaspic lost the puck. Blocked down by Joey Bacardi, who gets ran into by Caden Martin. It's an offsides call there by the linesman, so Kobe Weber can't try to beat Forden in the same spot for the third time.
No, absolutely, yeah. And I'm just surprised Caden Martin's still out there when he's not had the puck near him. He's been limbering a little bit, but he made a hit here close to our side of the rink, rather, and he's still playing. He's been out here for a long time.
Scrum in behind Forden. Fourth line out there for Oklahoma. Josh Bell's working this puck in behind Forden. Still tied up. Eventually worked out and taken away by Kagan, who flips it. Caden Martin doesn't have wheels, but that puck slowed up for Wood. They're going to call it an icing. Martin's been out there for almost all of 2 minutes, it feels like.
Yeah, it's been a while.
He needs to catch his breath. Critical face-off here with these tired bodies out for Oklahoma.
Yeah, and you're going up against Landon Booth in the face-off circle, who has been electric in this game. So tired bodies for the Sooner and an eager Ice Bear at center ice for the Ice Bears, rather.
Sooners are able to get it out. Wolf working to Martin. Martin's still out there. Drops it off for Wolf. Bells couldn't get there in time. Henderson met the puck first. Cole Stuckey doing good D work there. He's been injected into this lineup with the absence of Logan Motts. Sooners are offsides, they touch it. Now Missouri State making a case for the face-off to be in the OU zone. They're going to say it was not as intentional as the previous. 7:36 left in this game. Will we need overtime? Who knows?
Yeah, time in this third period has dissolved like sour candy. It's been a fast game. Despite how things kind of lull in the middle of these periods, time's been ticking, and these squads are aware of that.
3-on-2 here for Oklahoma. A couple of bodies in the wrong spot there with Spear and Blake trying to work it to Amala. Carson Spear played back. Kagan, soccer style. Spear has space. Wish run on net. That rebound was out in front of Chilevainen.
Yeah, that shot was a little slow. Chilevainen had time to kind of get ready for it. If it was a little bit faster, it might have been a different story, but we're still tied here.
Ice Bears enter onside, but puck exited. Frederick dumps it in on a Forden. Plays it back to Swearingen with some suave on it. Mala can't get it out. Cagle centers it. Cameron Reel didn't want it. We're going to get a penalty call here against Missouri State. Brendan Forden doesn't know it yet. Eventually he goes extra attacker. So the Sooner power play, eventually when this puck is touched up, will have a chance to work. Sooners are taking their time getting set up. I think it's going to be either a slash or a hook that's called. Tristan Davison entering with the extra attacker out there. Shot from Charlie Blake. It was a great one. Good work from Davison setting it up. So 6:03 left. Sooner power play seeing their first opportunity of the night. See who the perpetrator is. It's going to be Duke Bacardi, one of the best players for Missouri State, taking a seat in the sin bin.
Yeah, and Charlie Blake with another good look on net there. Almost getting the 6-on-5 goal, which it's rare when those come around. But Ice Bears having an answer there. But Sooners will get their first power play of the game.
Yeah, you mentioned Charlie Blake. In my eyes, he's got nearly half a dozen on net in this game. Puck out of play. And another stoppage. Faceoff's going to be held in the same spot. Wood just trying to clear it. Took an awkward hop.
Yeah, and just a quick update to our crowd costume watch out. We got a Smurf.
We got Papa Smurf,
yeah. Papa Smurf joined the crowd in the second period. I haven't had the chance to point it out yet, but we got a Smurf over there with the referees. So
just have Fred Flintstone back there, right behind Chilevainen. Forden, it's got company. Smartly plays it back to Gutierrez. Springs forward, Tristan Davison. Davison enters. First centering opportunity, ends up playing it back to Gutierrez. No traffic in front of the net just yet. Centers a little bit of miscommunication. They haven't had time to get warmed up on the power play. It's taken until this third period to get an opportunity. Glass. Narvaez drops it off. Davison didn't know where the puck was. Kind of just shot it loosely. Puck, they're going to say offsides. It looked really close from our vantage point. I mean, really close.
Yeah, I think it was. From what I could tell, I think the refs are right here. It's frustrating for the Sooners. It kills your momentum. You're not able to get set up in the zone or in the Ice Bears zone as fast as you would like to. But just off what we've seen from the first 50 seconds of this power play, Sooners doing a good job of getting on the foretrack and trying to get set up. We'll see if they can continue that here. Obviously, this neutral zone face-off makes it a little bit difficult for them.
Spear working that face-off. Kagan giving it back to Spear. Spear, a couple of nice moves, works it down low. Cagle missed it. Nate Payne plays it over to Spear. Under halfway to go in this Sooner power play. Kagan, cross ice, Bockham trying to work it to Spear. Caught a stick and bounced away from the Sooner forward. Kagan activates on the wall. Nate Payne surveys, drops it back off to Kagan. Wrist one on net, blocker saved by Sheila Vine and rebound loose. Bachem plays it off, shot from Spear, saved. Oh my goodness, what a sequence for the most State Ice Bear netminder.
And what a save from Sheila Vine there.
Twice.
Two great saves. Yes, that first shot from the point had hit, it looked like a stick, maybe a body, and it was one more tip away from heading into the net there. He came up with the answer, and that rebound attempt, Sheila Vine was all over it.
That shot from Kagan was poetry in motion. It looked like it was humming right for the back of the net. Knockdown, blocker save, and then Spear trying to get his second. Nate Payne. Sooners take that face off. It's a huge one. Wrist shot from the point. Knocked down, caught a body in front. That was Frederick, the captain. Power play time winding down. Last rush for Oklahoma. Alex Kagan working it to Charlie Blake. Blake just enters. Trying to work space here for OU. This stick's being caught up.
That block shot there was blocked by Carson Spear. He went off lumber into the Sooner bench.
That'd be bad news bears for Oklahoma if he cannot play the rest of this game. Sooners touch up. Great job by Gutierrez, who wrist one rebound from Sheila Vine and was corpulent before he catches that high shot from Tristan Glass. So even post-power play, Sooners still working the ozone well, is what we're talking about. So now Missouri State hasn't had a chance in the better half of 4 to 5 minutes. It's not, the transition game has been rough for both teams, and this is kind of the crumbs that we're left with. Premature face-off draw on the referee.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you said it there. It's been, you get your spurts of offense, and then it kind of goes into a lull where you're not getting much. You get your spurt again, and it's really feeling like it's going to be a next goal win situation, given the time we have left, but just also with how the game's been played.
Kagan, wrist one. There were bodies in front of Mala and Glass. I think both wanted a tip. Ended up dribbling wide. McCarty, who was the perpetrator on that first OU power play, can't get it out. Amala enters, and we're going to get a penalty called on Missouri State. It looked like incidental contact. I am, color me shocked on that. They were both kind of holding each other a little bit, at least from our vantage point. Again, Sooners will not complain. That's going to be Sam Frederick going off. And call that a hook.
No, yeah, Sam Frederick's not happy at all with that call. As you can imagine, it was a weird combination of players doing player things, and we ended up with an Ice Bear penalty out of that. I'm kind of surprised as well.
So essentially, back-to-back power plays for Oklahoma and the dying embers of this third period. They looked good, but not perfect on the first attempt. But as I mentioned, they hadn't been warmed up. Now they are. Davison enters onside for Oklahoma. Plays it, bank pass to Gutierrez. Holds up, waits, drops it to Davison. Now Narvaez lost the puck for a moment. It's held in. Worked into the corner. Glass centering feed out for Davison on the one-timer. Just off the heel of his stick. Didn't get a lot on it. Glass working hard. Tristan Glass works it down low. And a great block there by Cameron Reel. Thwarted that centering feed. Good touch and dump in. Oklahoma, Amala getting worked on by Wood. Puck out of play. It should be in the D-zone, no change. So they're going to say that was an illegal clearance. They can't call delay a game, but when the puck is intentionally deposited into the net and out of play in the D-zone, that faceoff's going to stay inside, and the players can't change. So tired penalty killers out there for Missouri State. We're going to get a timeout taken wisely by Missouri State in order to freshen up those bodies on the ice for the Ice Bears.
And we were kind of talking about it earlier about momentum swings and when a team has and doesn't have momentum. And you have to think for the Sooners, this is as good as an opportunity as it gets. Two basically back-to-back power plays going into the dying, as you put it, dying embers of this third period. if this needs an overtime, you have the latter part of the past 6 minutes of momentum. Surely you just carry it into that. But minute and 4 left, like, who knows what can happen here.
Yeah, and the same can be said for 3-on-3 overtime. Who knows? You know, it's the type of thing you got to be perfect in your game not to take a penalty in overtime. It's a death sentence for whichever team does. You see it in the NHL, you see it in college, you see it all levels of hockey that incorporate that 3-on-3 overtime like we do here in the ACHA. Charlie Blake in that top line out there, Spear back out there for the Sooners. Glad to see that. Forden getting the bench fired up for OU, face-off 1. Bockham played it off of Sheila. Puck cleared, nearly a shorthanded chance there for Bolger as he was working in on Kagan. Kagan getting pestered by Bolger. Spear collects, touch pass from Bockham will activate Blake. He dumps it off. Cleared. No, it isn't. It's fanned on the clearance to Hunter Bolger. He still stays with it. Another clearance there. That's going to leave just under 30 seconds to go on this Sooner power play. Alex Kagan having to do a couple cycles. Eventually breaks Carson Spear free. Payne holds up at the line. Nate Payne with it at the point. Dropped it off. Kagan has a lane. Kagan over to Bockham. Just missed the net. Great setup from Oklahoma. Charlie Blake back to the point. Nate Payne throws it on net. Caught a body out in front. Power play over for the Sooners. Kagan, wrist one, ramps off the stick of Kobe Weber and out of play.
Yeah, and 2 really good looks for the Sooners there on the power play. If you're the Sooners, you kind of wish you got one of those to go in there, but.
Or at least go on net. You know, Bockham, that was the chance of the period so far for Oklahoma. Great setup from Payne and Kagan.
Absolutely, and Kobe Weber, who was just in the box for the Ice Bears, comes out, blocks a shot, and allows the Ice Bears to reset here.
Still another offensive zone faceoff for Oklahoma. As Vest gets booted out, Kaspic will stand in to face off with Tristan Glass. Glass won it initially. It's taken away by Kaspic. Kaspic off to Weber. Centering feed just caught a piece of something and over the net. It's dangerous. Now the Sooners have space to work with. Amala enters, drags it, holds up, dumps it. Glass charges. Vest collects for Missouri State. Breaks out of the zone. Under a minute to go. Good stick there by Ivan Gutierrez. It's going to spring forward. Mike Amala is trying to get past 3 Ice Bears against all odds. Weber. Now Amala and a diving Frederick. If anything was a penalty over the last couple of minutes, it was that. Time winding down. Sooners will have one last rush. Charlie Blake, couple of nice moves, drops a man. And yeah, we will get overtime here. Just some Halloween napping going on for Missouri State towards the end of that period. Nearly gave the game-winning goal to Oklahoma. So a brief intermission, not enough to go to break. Welcome back, Sooner hockey fans. We'll do the 3-on-3 5-minute overtime, followed up by a shootout if there is no decision within the overtime. Both teams grabbing at least a point in the WCHL standings. For the Sooners, that's huge as they're trying to retain that number 1 place, which they have not held on to for as long of a time in a while as they have so far to start this season. Almost about halfway through it, and they're still there.
Yeah, absolutely. This team has, we talked about it, I think, last series in the Country Series, maybe doesn't look the best at all times. Maybe doesn't look like the #1 team in the standings at all times, but finds a way to get dirty wins.
Carson Spear on a breakaway in an overtime. Spear just dropped it off wide of the net on Sheila Vinen. Great chance there to start this overtime for Carson Spear. Looking for his second. Justin Rapp sets up. Kagan trying to fight off an angle. Rapp lost it on the stick, and Spear has a chance to rush here. Kegel's back for Missouri State. Carson Spear in on net. That's going to be flung on to Sheila Vinen. Kegel and Spear go in and down behind Sheila Vinen. So a 2-on-2 here. Justin Rapp in. Shot saved by Forden. Forden ushers it to the corner. It would have left Rapp all alone again in front of Forden. Sooners will just slow things down. They're not going to go off for a change. Now they are. Spear's going to hop off the ice for Josh McDonald. Nearly too many men there. Charlie Blake. Drop pass for Alex Kagan. Kagan missed Blake on his drop pass. Kagan will go off. Tristan Davison will step on. Drop pass from Charlie Blake missed him in the neutral zone. Sooners kind of dictating who they want out there now. Garen Narvaez steps on. And will now enter for Oklahoma. Garen Narvaez on the faceoff dot. Gets written off the puck with emphasis. And a rush the other way for Missouri State. Hunter Bolger. Shot saved by Forden, tipped over the net. Joey Bacardi couldn't keep it in. Narvaez goes off. Davison still on there, having to apply pressure on a Joey Bacardi. And Wirtz will allow Missouri State to change. Davison and Amala on. Davison blocks that shot. It cripples him. He's trying to spring forward. Kagan, it's going to be a 2-on-1 rush for Oklahoma. Kagan enters, looking for a chance. Kagan, blocker saved by Sheila Vinen. Amala gets caught up in the referee. It's a 2-on-1 the other way for Missouri State. Shot blocker saved by Forden and out of play. Davison needs to get off the ice.
Yeah, and Forden keeping them in this game here, so Davison can't get off the ice there. That would have been an unfortunate break for him if that were to go the other way and then find the back of the net. But Davison kept in this thing thanks to his goaltender, and the Sooners still have light here.
Just over halfway left in this overtime. Fresh bodies out there for both teams. Daprin will take the face-off, has space to work with, and decides to exit the zone for Missouri State. Thomas Levine sets up Vest, and Levine circling face-off dot at center ice before eventually breaking in. Vest in alone on Forden, trying to pull it to his forehand, caught a piece of Forden. Not enough to warrant a penalty. Missouri State will take their time to get off a change. Josh McDonald probably next man to go off for the Sooners. Can't, though, on this rush for Missouri State. Duke Bacardi trying to split the D. Didn't like what he saw. McDonald going off for Kagan. Time winding down in this overtime. Good chances for both teams. Justin Rapp has space. Justin Rapp in on Forden. Shot scores! Justin Rapp crushes the dreams on Halloween for the Oklahoma Sooners as they defeat OU 3-2 in overtime.
That was a great goal from Justin Rapp there. Such an individual effort. Gets it to the backhand, just beats Forden pad side rather. Tough break for a goalie who had a great game. But the Ice Bears will be the one to come away with the win here in the first game of this 2-game series.
We won't hold you long for postgame. We're going to wish you guys a happy Halloween. Reminder, there's a game tomorrow night, second game of this series. Sooners look to have an answer to tonight's OT loss. I'm Christian Markey. Alongside me, Elijah Lena. Thank you to Sophie DeMint, our producer, and Robin, our camera woman tonight, as we bid you adieu.